You know, guys, I've made mention here on the video report over the past couple of years that I've been thinking about getting out of this business, just calling it quits, because I only do it because I like handicapping. I love that challenge of trying to beat the odds makers, and I love gambling. But in reality, it's not like I have to do it for a living. I can just walk away anytime I want. And more I think about it, I'm more qualified for another job. I mean, listen, I worked as a reporter for 8 years. I hosted my own nationwide sports talk show for a couple of years. I worked in TV on and off for a number of years. Really, when I think about it, with all the turnover in the White House, I am more than qualified to work in the White House communications staff. If not for the turnover in that department, without the job security, I'd go and apply tomorrow. Clearly, you don't need any talent, and you don't have to be qualified to work in that department. Hell, I could be in politics for the lack of talent that they have in that department right now there in the White House too. I mean, you have a reality show host as the president. I mean, maybe I've missed my calling. Maybe I should be working in Washington. Maybe I'm just wasting my time doing these video reports here. I should just definitely just take a turn in direction. I'm young enough. I don't know. Maybe I just won't be here tomorrow and I'm just going to hang up my shingle and say, I quit. I don't know. I don't know. I realize all of you would just be absolutely crushed, devastated, because where else would you get these type of tidbits? Where else would you know that on this day in 1975, Jimmy Hoffa disappeared? Yeah, I know. You were just waking up this morning going, my God, I got to watch this video, because if not, I wouldn't know Jimmy Hoffa disappeared all these years ago. These are the things that keep you up at night. These are the reasons that you have to watch these video reports. Did you know there are 153 days left in this calendar year? Yeah, I know. In 1980, Long Beach, California, the Eagles played their last show for 14 years. Yeah, that's right. A benefit concert for California Senator Alan Cranston in Long Beach, California. Don Felder and Glenn Fry getting into it throughout the concert. Little verbal jarring back and forth throughout it. And afterwards, fireworks. And they didn't play again until the Hell Freezes Over tour 14 years later. Of course, 2001, they fired Felder from the band. He then filed a couple of lawsuits against them. So, hey, listen, it's never like they all got back to that peaceful, easy feeling. In 1971, James Taylor topped the singles chart with You've Got a Friend, which eventually earned the Grammy Award for Song of the Year. What song did it dethrone as the #1 song in the country? Just in case you're on Jeopardy next week, listen, this is important stuff. Again, how can you sleep without knowing these facts? The Raiders' Indian Reservation knocked from the top spot, but James, just 1 week at #1, because the Bee Gees took over for the entire month of August, 4 straight weeks, topping the chart with How Can You Mend a Broken Heart? A couple of significant people born on this date. Mark Cuban, 1958. By the way, net worth $3.3 billion reportedly. And J.K. Rowling of Harry Potter fame, born as well. Also, in the sporting world, Kurt Gowdy, Hall of Fame announcer, born in this day in 1919. I remember... earliest thing I remember is Kurt Gowdy and Tony Kubic Jr. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I mean, I was a kid. I remember watching Saturday baseball games in black and white when I was a little kid on, I guess it was NBC, the Saturday game of the week. I remember Tony and Kurt were the announcers back then. I wasn't particularly a big fan, but never met the guy, even when I was a reporter. But back in 2008 or 2009, I can't remember, I eventually got the opportunity to be on SNY in New York, Sportsnet Television in New York, and to be a sports analyst talking about football, handicapping, etc. So I had to go up to their offices up in Manhattan and meet Kurt Gowdy Jr., Kurt's son, who was the senior vice president and executive producer of SNY Television. Because, listen, they're not going to put anybody on TV talking about sports gambling, needless to say, without vetting them in advance. So I go up there and I meet all the head honchos, and I go into Kurt Gowdy Jr.'s office, and we go for this meeting and stuff. And this guy is big. I mean, he was a reporter. He was a producer of ABC Wide World of Sports for over a decade. This guy carved out his own niche in the sports TV world for a number of decades. And, you know, nice guy. We sit down and he says, well, give me a little example. If I want to hear about the Jets and the Patriots, what would you do? So I'm thinking, okay, this is TV. You want a sanitized version. You don't want the usual stuff that I'm talking about here on the video report. So I go into this brilliant piece of analysis. I break it down, you know, everything as if we're talking with a bunch of coaches in the room. I'm giving you true ESPN-like quality breakdown of the Jets and the Patriots. And after about 3 or 4 minutes, he says, no, give me that gambling stuff. And I'm like, no, you mean you want the lingo that I talk about in my business? And I laughed and I said, you know, most people, you know, radio stations, TV stations, they want, like I said, the sanitized version. They want me to stay clear of all that. And he says, no, give me the good stuff. So then I give him all the ATS trends and the over-unders and the stuff that, you know, I would normally give you guys here on the videos and stuff during football season. He says, yeah, that's the stuff we want. It's like, hey, now you're talking my language. Very nice man. Only time I ever met him. Put me on the air for 3 years. So anyway, that's your tidbit of the day. So we move on. Let's get to your complimentary play, because I can't tell you anything else of significance that's going on this day as we end July with football right around the corner, just 27 days away and counting. Your complimentary play, I'm going to go with the Houston Astros, even though they've lost 3 of their last 4 at home tonight against Tampa Bay, because the Rays aren't exactly setting the world on fire. They've lost 8 of their last 11 games now. Tampa's Alex Cobb has pitched well, 5-1 with a 2.24 earned run average in his last 9 starts. Charlie Morton, interesting guy. I wrote him in his last start, and he delivered with a win against Philadelphia. Probably his best outing of the season, 7 innings of shutout ball, in which he allowed just 3 hits and 9 strikeouts in those 7 frames. He has pitched okay since coming off the disabled list. He has certainly benefited from a lot of offensive support from the Astros, as they've won 3 of his 4 starts since coming off the DL on July 7th. The team has won 6 of his 9 home starts this season, and they have scored 52 runs in those 9 outings. Now, the Astros are just 8-7 since the All-Star break, and they've lost 3 of their last 4, but the Rays have lost 8 of their last 11. The problem with this game is you can't play the Astros on the money line because they're $1.55 to $1.60 favorites. So the way to play this game, I say, is to go ahead and take a waiver and shoot with the Astros on the money line, because you got a tremendous take-back price of plus $1.25 in this contest. You still have a Houston team that, despite their problems here of late and despite some significant injuries, they still lead the major leagues in almost every significant offensive category. You're talking about batting average, on-base percentage, home runs, total bases, hitting, slugging percentage. This team is just an offensive juggernaut. So why not take a shot with them back at home on the run line with a pitcher that they have shown repeatedly gets tremendous offensive support this season? And who knows, Jimmy Hoffman may show up at the game tonight. Go ahead, Houston, plus the 1.5 runs, or laying the 1.5 runs, plus $1.25. That's your complimentary play. I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Good luck, everybody. See you then.